So last week I had one of the best weeks of my life with such high highs and with so much happiness. And all of that happiness that I was feeling triggered so many fears. And one of those fears was fear of abandonment, fear of people and things leaving, and the fear of loss, basically. Just having so much goodness was scary. And what was scary about it was the idea that it could possibly leave me. And I think that the fear of loss is something that a lot of people go through. Fear of abandonment, fear of loss, fear of things leaving. Me personally, I hate endings. I hate death. Like, I hate things ending. You hear that? Mercury. I love those things. Time nomad. Letting us know what hour it is. Funny, Mercury hour now. And I'm talking to my camera. I'm talking to you guys. But yeah, I hate endings. I hate death. I hate losing things. I'm very big on like what I have. Shout out to Scorpio and Taurus placements. I'm just really big on what I have. And endings seem to leave deep marks on my heart. I'm a huge moment person. I love being in the moment. I love experiencing moments. I love experiencing things. And it's because I know, I'm gonna cry. I know how beautiful life is. I understand how unique everyone is, and in my mind it's like you will never experience that thing again or that person again. You know, you'll never have something like that ever again. And it's easy to get in that mindset. It's easy to think like you have this thing, you're having this happiness, and then you jump into fear like, oh my god, I'll never have that again. That lack mindset, that mindset that like nothing good could ever come, or that thing could never come back to you, right? And it breeds so much fear of losing everything that you have, that everything that you built. That's really real, you know. And so you start focusing on it, you start fixating on it, this fear that things won't last, and then you start looking for confirmations as to, you know, why that thing won't last. Or you start thinking about all the other things that have ever ended in your life, or you start thinking about all the people that have done you wrong, all the people that have abandoned you. And with this fear, it just keeps going. You know, your mind gets really fixated on the loss, on what you don't have, on what you feel like you don't have. And that's a dangerous hole to go down, and it's a scary one, because you're constantly like that confirmation bias. You're constantly searching for it. You search for it so much. You search for loss so much that you can't realize what you gain. You search for loss so much that you sit there and you can't realize what's in front of you. When you have these fears, you feel like, I need to hold on to this. I need to have this moment. And fixating so much on like not losing it keeps you in a space of losing time, fixating on things that aren't gain, right? The things I've been experiencing are so beautiful. The blessings, sometimes it's just hard to realize that it's happening to you, and like you deserve this in this moment. Like, it's hard to sometimes embrace the good things just because of the fear of not having that thing anymore. You know, you always want to operate out of a space of growth rather than out of a space of lack. You know, you don't want to operate out of the space of lack, or else you'll hold on to things just because you feel like you can't have anything more, or you feel like nothing better will come. And the truth is that things do come. More always comes. We have aged, we have grown up, all of us, you, me, like has been more. And it's funny because it's like, no matter how much you know that life keeps going, there's still always this feeling of like nothing better will come. You know, there's nothing better. Like, this is the moment. This is what I have. I have to hold this. And you have to realize that like more moments will come, more good will come. I want to be present in this moment. I want to recognize that there's so much goodness in this moment to be thankful for. And so there's a need to release the fear of loss. There's a need to shift the perspective. There's a need to surrender to the flow of life and release your mind from this idea that you always have to have more. You have to release your mind from this idea that there won't be any more. When you recognize that you always will have more, then there's no such thing as not having more, because you have what you need. You know that there's more coming. You know that like you have an abundance. Abundance isn't just things, it's a mindset. It's how you walk, it's how you talk, it's how you think. And this, like I said, I'm finna cry sometime. It's just like embracing that you can dive deep into your happiness. You can dive deep into all of your emotions, and you can move through your emotions. We don't have to control time. We don't have to control anything. We can just be. I think that the fear of loss keeps us moving. And that's great. Like, it's great we should always be motivated. But I think it's important that when we're moving with intention, and we're moving in this moment, not just chasing something future, some expectation, some standard, chasing something that's not there yet. Like I said, I hate endings. I hate people leaving. And then you think like, well, who left you? My therapist said, well, what ending left a mark on your heart? And I said, like, my grandma died at 6, when I was 6 or so, 5 or 6. And I always felt like I didn't have enough time with her. And so like now I'm really focused on having time with people, being present in the moment, having emotional connection in the moment with people. Because I don't like when things that make me happy end. And I don't like that things that make me happy will end, because there's a part of me that feels like I'll never have that again. Or I won't fully know someone, I won't fully experience someone. But instead of focusing on losing that thing, you have to recognize that you had it to begin with, and that things don't just leave you like that. Moments don't just leave you like that. You have this moment. And I just, that's something that I think will help with the fear of loss, is shifting the perspective from a perspective of loss to a perspective of gain. Moving from the idea that there's all these possibilities of loss. The mind can go off in tons of different ways. The mind can be like, oh, what if they leave me for this person? What if they do this? What if I lose everything I have? What if I don't have my money? You know, like your mind can go off into so many possibilities. But when you start fixating, when you find yourself fixating on the possibilities that have not yet come, try to focus on what you do have. Focus on what is real. Focus on what is now, and appreciate that now. My therapist said when you're fixated on loss, focus on and zone in on gain. She said when you experienced this time with this person, when they left, what did you think? What emotions did you connect to them leaving? And I thought, when they left, I felt like my comfort was leaving. I felt like my happiness was leaving. What do you, when people leave, what do you attach to that? What do you think that you're losing? What do you think they're leaving with? Ask yourself that question. When you fear losing something, I feared that I would lose stability. I feared that I would lose my fun, my relaxation, my escape. I fear, when I think about losing all of this, I fear not having security and stability, because I'm tired of not being stable. Like physically, I'm tired. I'm tired of cycles continuously going. When I think of losing things and people, I'm thinking of losing moments and experiences and happiness. But when you catch yourself in these moments thinking of these emotions and these things that you attach to these people, when you catch yourself focusing on what you're losing, or focusing on, I fear that I'm going to lose this happiness, I fear that I'm going to lose this person. When you feel like that, you have to shift your perspective and recognize that all those things you're scared of losing are things that you gained. I fear losing happiness when this person leaves. I gained happiness. And I have to recognize I gained happiness. I gained comfort. I gained security and stability. I gained security and stability. I didn't lose it. It's here. When you're afraid of what you're going to lose, I need you to take a second and recognize what you gained and express gratitude for those things. When this person entered my life, I gained happiness. I gained true love, and they are still here. I haven't lost anything. Is there a possibility? Sure, I'm not going to think about that, because I've gained happiness. I've gained relaxation. I've gained fun. I've gained someone that I love. You can express gratitude for having that instead of fixating on the possibility of losing it, because that's not your reality right now. Your reality is that you do have it in this moment. Once you have it, you have that experience, you have that moment. Take a step back and remember what you have. The fear of loss is a heavy one. The fear of abandonment is a hard one. It makes you feel like you're really gonna lose everything. But you're not. You've already gained it. You can tap into that energy anytime. You've experienced happiness, you've experienced comfort, you've experienced love in whatever moment you needed to experience it. And if you ever need to feel that love, you can tap back into it. You can feel that moment again, you can feel that experience again. I just want to encourage everyone to lean deeper into the emotions that they feel. Not to judge them, not to think about it, but let yourself feel that. Feel it in your body. Take a deep breath, allow yourself to work through it. Allow yourself to feel that. Triggers and wounds and pain is not easy to deal with at all. But when you're going through them, it's important to remember where you're at now. It's important to remember where that thing comes from. Typically where that trigger and that situation comes from is in the past. It's typically not something that's necessarily right in your face. And that's a beautiful thing to recognize as well. That happened, but I'm here now, and I'm gonna go somewhere new. We can recognize that, great, these triggers are coming up, these fears are coming up because my body is trying to protect itself. That's great, but in this moment I'm safe. Loss, fear of abandonment, you have to focus on what you have. You have to focus on your foundation. You have to do things for yourself more than ever. That self-care will save your life. Embrace vulnerability. Embrace transparency. Whenever I feel abandoned, or I feel like someone's leaving, or I get scared, I say that. Instead of shutting down is, it's a natural response to feeling so deeply. But what's even better is when you can open yourself up and lean into that feeling a little bit and allow yourself to just let your walls down and be vulnerable and let people know, I am struggling. I don't want you to leave. I fear abandonment. It has, I usually tell people it has nothing to do with you, but I recognize the beauty in you, and I recognize the things I've been through before, and I'm struggling with this right now. And sometimes just admitting that and saying that and allowing yourself to be vulnerable allows you to lean in a little deeper, allows those feelings to come up so that you can release them, so that you can move forward, so that you can make a different decision. Recognizing the root, being vulnerable and open, is what allows you to do the healing work, to be aware and to move forward in a different way. And that's where you get the healing, when you're aware. when you open yourself up, when you love on yourself, when you have compassion, when you can shift your perspective a little bit. It's not easy at all. But I think that releasing fear of loss means we have to recognize what happened, what did we lose, what emotions did we feel in connection with that loss. And then we have to recognize other spaces in which we've felt those feelings again. You've experienced good things in so many different places. It's easy to focus on what we don't have. It's easy to focus on possibilities, but I promise you those possibilities are not your current reality. We like to fixate on it so much. We like to look for confirmation that it'll happen. And that fear of abandonment, that fear of loss, it can really cause us to lose a lot of good things. It can cause us to sabotage ourselves, to go off, to shut down, when in reality we don't want to shut down. All we want is love. All we want is happiness. All we want is comfort and security and stability. And so lean into those feelings. You know, I fear loss. All I want right now is security. Instead of, I fear loss, I'm going to shut down so that I can't get hurt. But you're hurting yourself. You want security. You want stability. Allow yourself to lean on people. Allow yourself to love. Allow yourself to open up. Challenge your fears. It's not easy. It takes time. I highly recommend a journal. I think that I just really needed to talk about releasing fear of loss and surrendering to the flow. Because that's all we can do. We can't control the time. All we can control is where we're at now. All we can control is where we're at now and what we're doing for ourselves. All we can control is the self-care that we're doing to make ourselves feel good enough. When you feel your mind diving deep into the what ifs and the possibilities, remind yourself of where you're at now. Remind yourself of what you do have. Remind yourself of all the things you're afraid to lose. Remind yourself that you have those things. I fear abandonment, but they're there with you right now. So you don't have to fear them leaving, because you have them now, and you'll always have those moments, and you'll always have those experiences in your heart. And anytime you need to, you can close your eyes and you can imagine yourself in that space with them, and you can feel it. So yeah, let yourself surrender to the flow. Sure, endings may come through, but not right now, because you do have this. You got it. So yeah, that's all I wanted to really talk about on fear of loss, surrendering to the flow, being in the moment. You deserve so many good things, and I hope that you know that. I hope that you see that. Thank you for watching this video of me talking. I pray that you release any fears of loss. I pray that you see what you have. I pray that you see that you have you, and that you are amazing, and that it's great to have you. And I pray that you continue to walk on your path, whether that's your spiritual path or just any path that you're on. I pray that you walk that path and you recognize that you're on your way to greatness. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you have a really beautiful day today, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!